And we are continuing on with Project 1 Stage 3. Now we're going to use our brush tool. We're on page 65. Painting with the brush tool is going to be extremely like painting in the brush tool was for Illustrator and Photoshop. Photoshop, remember, you could paint behind. Illustrator, you were able to draw inside of an object, things like that. So what we are going to actually do with this is we are going to put in the shadow below the vehicle. So we're brushing that in. I would like you to select the body layer and then with your selection tool click off to the side or go to edit and deselect all so that nothing is picked up, but we are on the body layer. Pick up your brush tool, and as soon as you do, you will see at the bottom of the tool panel that you're going to get some additional selections that you can make. You have the brush mode, size, and shape. We want to be working with the round brush. We also want to have the brush to be the largest round brush available, and we want the brush mode to be paint behind. Now this is similar to what we've had in Photoshop, where you can do a normal paint, you can paint within something, you can paint behind something, change the color by painting the fill, or you can paint a selection. We want to paint behind because we are going to be a little messy with this, and we don't want to have it covering the body of the car. So we're going to pick up the fill color and change that to a lovely medium gray or something so that we're doing a shadow, and I don't want it to match the wheels, so I've picked the lighter shade, and all I need to do is go in and kind of scribble to put in a shadow. We want that to fall so that it looks like it's sitting on the ground, so just scribble. It doesn't matter whether you cover the car up right now, because as soon as we release this, we're going to find out that magically it falls behind. Now we could have actually done that on a separate layer, and for lack of anything except to show you that this could be done, we put it on the same layer. Now we're going to select it with the selection tool, go to edit, and we're going to cut it. We are now going to create a new layer and name that layer shadow, and go to edit, and we're going to paste in place. Next we're going to add linear and radial gradients. We're going to apply some gradients to both the body and the window. We're going to start first by selecting and adding a gradient to the window. So I'm going to select the window, and before I go any further, because we can't access everything according to what's in the book, we do need to go up to window, and we're going to open our color panel, which right now we don't have available, and we're going to go to the fill and select the radial gradient. Okay, so now we can see the ramp. We want to add a new stop, so we're going to click right below the gradient ramp. It's just like adding in Photoshop or Illustrator to add another stop. We want to drag that over a little bit because everything is still selected. You can see the change as it is applied to the window. Next, select the body shape with the selection tool. In your color panel, click linear gradient. That is going to apply the same linear gradient that we created. Well, actually it was a radial, but because we selected a gradient, it's going to apply the same colors that we used the last time a gradient was applied. We want this to be only two colors, so we're going to pull that center tab back off. Next, on the ramp, I want you to double click the left stop, and we're going to change that to a deep red. You can pick the same color you used or pick a different color if you'd liked. And we're going to change the right one to the same color. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Why didn't you just leave this red? Well, we need to establish that there's a gradient going on. We're going to change the brightness of this red. So if you grab the brightness slider and drag it down towards the black to about 10%, we're going to get a deeper color at the front of the vehicle than we have at the back. We're now going to transform the gradients. I would like you to select the window, and underneath your free transform tool you're going to find your gradient transform tool. With our window selected, the gradient transform tool is going to work like the transform tool did in Illustrator. That's going to let you adjust the size, the direction, and the center point of the gradient fill. Remember the handles. We've got the center of the gradient, we have the size, we can do the shape, the size, and rotation. So by clicking the center point of the gradient, we can change the position of it. We want to bring that up so that it's in that upper left corner of the window. With the gradient width handle, we're going to drag that down to flatten the gradient. So we're going to bring that in and make it an oval. We're going to pick up the rotation handle and we're going to drag that over so that we have a tilt. Now grab the size, and this is going to enlarge the entire thing, and drag it out to make a bigger gradient. Now, still using the gradient transform tool, click on the car body. We have a gradient, but we have a linear gradient, which is going to give us a slightly different set of tools than we had. We don't have the strip going across, and we don't have an arch around it. We just have blue lines that come up in the front and the back. With the gradient rotation handle, we're going to take this and drag down and left, and we're going to rotate 90 degrees. Okay, that might run you right off the edge of your panel, so we're going to zoom out just a little bit. So I'm going to choose 50%. I'm going to click the gradient width handle, which is this one, and I'm going to drag it up until the gradient is just slightly larger than the height of the car. If I click the center point of the gradient and drag it down, that's going to shift my gradient, so I have the gradient running with the dark part under the car and the top of the car is brighter. Now that we have our car drawn, we want to organize our layers. We're going to create a folder. So I'm going to pick up my accents layer and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name that folder Car Parts. I'm going to click on everything from accent down to body. I'm going to click accent to windows, and I need to expand that because I can't see everything now, and I'm going to drag those up and into car parts. I'm actually going to include my shadow layer in car parts. Drag that back down to the bottom. I guess I should have left that right above the body layer. And I am going to now delete my sketch layer. I need to unlock it before I do that. To delete it, I need to drag that to the trash can. I can now collapse my body parts folder, and I am ready to export this document out as an image. I need to go to File, Export, Export Image. There it is. In the bottom left corner of the dialog box, whoa, let me shrink this down because you can't see this. That came up bigger than I expected. There we go. In the bottom left corner of the resulting dialog box, choose Fit on Screen in the View Percentage. On the right side of the dialog box, choose JPEG. In the quality, drag it up. In the quality, we're going to go to maximum and click Save. It should pop up in your WIP folder. I would like you to add your initials to the Corvette name and hit Save. When you open that file up, it's going to be a small file suitable for emailing. It's a 75K file. You can upload that file and turn that file in.